All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with state chief ministers this evening on the nationwide rollout of corona vaccine. COVID recovery rate improves to 96.42% in the country. Aerial ground survey of Delhi-Varanasi high-speed rail corridor begins from Greater Noida. Government notifies rules for renewal of international driving license while travelling abroad. International Film Festival of India announces its lineup for OTT platform, Bangladesh to be the focus country this year. And India were 250 for 4 against Australia in their second innings in third cricket test at Sydney a short while ago. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the chief ministers of all states today evening through video conferencing. During the interaction, the COVID-19 situation and the vaccination rollout will be discussed. More from our correspondent.
Emergency use authorization or accelerated approval has been granted by the national regulator, Drugs Controller General of India, for 2 vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin, which have established safety and immunogenicity. On Saturday, the Prime Minister had chaired a high-level meeting to review the COVID-19 status in the country. The rollout of COVID-19 vaccine will provide priority to the healthcare workers and the frontline workers who are estimated to be around 3 crore, followed by those above 50 years of age and the under 50 population groups with comorbidities numbering around 27 crores. The CoWIN vaccine delivery management system will provide real-time information of vaccine stocks, their storage temperature and individualized tracking of beneficiaries of the COVID-19 vaccine. The platform will assist the program managers across all levels through automated session allocation for pre-registered beneficiaries, their verification and for generating a digital certificate upon successful completion of the vaccine schedule. More than 79 lakh beneficiaries have been already registered on the platform. More than 61,000 program managers, 2 lakh vaccinators and 3.7 lakh other vaccination team members have been trained so far as part of trainings at states, districts and block levels. 3 phases of dry runs have been conducted across the country. Anupam Mish, AIR News, Delhi.
The government has said that it has been proactively carrying out activities for the nationwide rollout of COVID-19 vaccine in close collaboration with states and union territories. The nationwide vaccination drive will begin on the 16th of this month. The Health Ministry yesterday held a video conference with administrators from states and UTs on the CoWIN software, which forms the backbone of the last mile vaccine administration. The meeting was chaired by the chairman of Empowered Group on Technology and Data Management to combat COVID-19, Ram Sevak Sharma. The meeting was attended by the state principal secretaries, mission directors of National Health Mission and state immunization officers. During the meeting, the feedback of the states and UTs on the CoWIN software and its operational use emanating from the dry runs was discussed in detail. Mr. Sharma said during the meeting that robust, dependable and agile technology shall form for both the foundation and the backup for countries' COVID-19 vaccination, which shall be the world's largest immunization exercise. Speaking on the use of Aadhaar platform, he advised the states to urge the beneficiaries to seed their current mobile number with Aadhaar for registration and consequent communication through SMS.
Delhi government has finalized 89 hospitals for the first phase of COVID vaccination. Delhi Health Minister Sitendra Jain has said that as per the instruction of the central government, the Delhi government has prepared these 89 sites, which are different hospitals of Delhi. Out of these 89 hospitals, 40 hospitals are government and 49 are private. He said the vaccines for the COVID-19 will start arriving between 12 January to 14 January. The minister said the Delhi government has prepared a very robust storage system to keep the COVID-19 vaccine. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has issued instructions to complete all preparations for COVID-19 vaccination. The final phase of dry run for the vaccination will be conducted in the state today. After the successful dry run on the 5th of this month, the final dry run will check the preparedness of the state government regarding the vaccination drive for coronavirus. A report from our Lucknow correspondent.
Additional Chief Secretary Health Amit Mohan Prasad said this drive will be conducted on 1,500 places across the state. That means on an average 20 places will be selected in a district for the final phase of dry run of COVID vaccination. He said that in the first phase, the vaccine will be given to the health workers. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that all the arrangements for an effective cold chain, safe storage and easy transportation for vaccination work should be made according to the guidelines spelled out by the Government of India. He also instructed officials to regularly monitor the action being taken for the COVID-19 vaccination. During the first phase, vaccination work will be done in 3,000 booths of 1,500 vaccination centers across the state. For this, 1,300 cold chains have been installed. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Odisha is geared up for the nationwide launch of COVID-19 vaccination beginning 16th of this month. Accordingly, the state government has kept 160 session sites in readiness to undertake the program. It has also been decided to vaccinate about 100 healthcare workers in each of the session sites. A report from our Odisha correspondent.
The first phase of the vaccination drive will be conducted in the identified hospitals down to the community health centers in all the 30 districts. The session sites have also been equipped with all necessary provisions as mandated by the center, including observation rooms and AEFI kits. The state has prepared a list of 328,000 healthcare and frontline workers to be vaccinated in the first phase. Meanwhile, the State Fisheries and Animal Resources Development Department has said that none of the 12,000 plus bird samples collected so far has tested positive for avian influenza. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha will kick off the COVID-19 vaccination drive on January 16th from the Government Medical College, Jammu. 2,700 people across the Union Territory will receive vaccination on day 1 at 27 designated sites, which will be subsequently raised to over 1,000. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that the UT government has so far registered 1.07 lakh health workers across the Union Territory for vaccination in the first phase, but the numbers are likely to go around 1.5 lakh as some medical students and others are yet to be registered. After the Lieutenant Governor launches the vaccination, the health authorities will start administering vaccines on a daily basis to health workers across the UT. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 96.42% as more than 19,000 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours. The total number of recoveries has gone up to over 1,75,000. The Health Ministry said the actual caseload currently comprises only 2.14% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is around 2,23,000. During the past 24 hours, 18,645 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 1,450,000. The ministry said currently India's case fatality rate is at 1.44%, which is one of the lowest globally.
In Bihar, random COVID tests will be undertaken from today in all educational institutions, including schools. Positive cases will be detected after random test. This decision has been taken after positive cases were reported in 2 government schools of Munger and 1 school from Gaya district. Principal Secretary, Education Department Sanjay Kumar said schools will be closed after detection of even a single positive case. Mr. Kumar said instruction has been given to educational institutions to follow COVID protocol strictly. Karnataka reported 792 new corona cases, 593 recoveries and 2 deaths during the last 24 hours. At present, 9,649 COVID patients are taking treatment in various hospitals across the state. Meanwhile, the state is fully prepared for vaccine collection, storage and distribution. More details on this from our Bengaluru correspondent.
Karnataka Health Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar inspected the State Vaccine Storage Center in Bengaluru yesterday and verified the logistic arrangements for the vaccine distribution. Speaking to media, the minister said that the state has 2 walk-in coolers with a storage capacity of 45 lakh dosages in each cooler. Central government will also provide 1 walk-in freezer. The state will get 13.90 lakh doses of vaccine in the first phase. 24 lakh syringes have already arrived in the state. The minister further said that the state has 2 vaccine storage centers, each in Bengaluru and Belagavi. In total, the state has 2,767 cold chain points to distribute the vaccine. The COVID vaccine will be sent to regional storage centers through 900 vaccine carriers. R. Murthy, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The finals of the National Youth Parliament Festival 2021 will be held in the Central Hall of Parliament today. 84 winners from states and union territories will get an opportunity to be present in the Central Hall of Parliament before the Lok Sabha Speaker, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, along with Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju and other dignitaries. 29 national winners will get an opportunity to speak before the national jury comprising of Rajya Sabha MP Rupa Ganguly, Lok Sabha MP Parvesh Sahib Singh and eminent journalist Prafulla Ketkar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the valedictory function of the National Youth Parliament Festival 2021 tomorrow through video conferencing. The first 3 winners will get an opportunity to speak before the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister will also interact with the youth on the occasion. The objective of the National Youth Parliament Festival is to hear the voice of the youth between 18 and less than 25 years of age who will join various careers in the coming years, including public services. National Youth Parliament Festival NYPF is based on the idea given by the Prime Minister in his Mann Ki Baat address on 31st of December 2017. Taking inspiration from the idea of Prime Minister, the first NYPF 2019 was organized from 12th January to 27th February 2019 at district, state and national level with the theme Be the Voice of New India and Find Solutions and Contribute to Policy. In order to continue with the same spirit and objective with enhanced enthusiasm, the second National Youth Parliament Festival 2021 was launched on 23rd of last month through virtual mode, which was witnessed by more than 23 lakh youth and stakeholders across the country at district, state and national level. It was followed by organization of district youth parliaments, which were conducted through virtual mode from 24th to 29th of last month. In this, 2.34 lakh youth from 698 districts of all states and UTs in India participated through 150 venues. Talking to AIR News, Minister for State of Youth Affairs and Sports, Kiren Rijiju, asserted that role of every youth is important in the process of national development, and the National Youth Festival attempts to instill this belief in each one of them.
भारत देश में युवा महोत्सव मनाया जाता है 12 जनवरी को, जो स्वामी विवेकानंद जी का जन्म दिवस है और इस बार भी बहुत ही हर्ष और उल्लास के साथ मनाया जा रहा है। कोविड के चलते इस बार उसको हम वर्चुअल मोड में मनाने जा रहे हैं, लेकिन हर जगह वो सेलिब्रेशन चल रहे हैं। वर्चुअल मोड से हम दिल्ली में सबसे जुड़ेंगे, जिसमें आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी संबोधित करेंगे और हमारे साथ जुड़ेंगे और लोकसभा स्पीकर भी हमारे साथ जुड़ने वाले हैं। ये महोत्सव जो है अलग अलग सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम और बहुत सारा लिटरेरी एक्टिविटीज भी हम कर रहे हैं और कल्मिनेशन होगा यूथ पार्लियामेंट।
He said it is not necessary to be an icon to contribute towards the nation building.
किसी भी देश का असली ताकत युवा शक्ति होता है। युवा शक्ति को जिसने पहचान लिया वो देश मजबूत है। तो युवा शक्ति को देश के निर्माण में कैसे योगदान करना चाहिए, ये एक तरीके से वो सेलिब्रेशन है। भारत के कोने कोने में जितना जो युवाओं का संगठन है और हर एक युवा को हम किसी न किसी तरीके से डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली जुड़ रहे हैं और साथ साथ में हम अपने कार्यक्रम में सम्मिलित करते हुए ये सेलिब्रेशन कर रहे हैं। जो विकसित भारत का सपना है उसमें युवाओं का योगदान को किस तरीके से हम इसको इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए, ये युवा महोत्सव में एक दिशा देता है।
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with state chief ministers this evening on the nationwide rollout of corona vaccine. COVID recovery rate improves to 96.42% in the country. Aerial ground survey of Delhi-Varanasi high-speed rail corridor begins from Greater Noida. Government notifies rules for renewal of international driving license while travelling abroad. International Film Festival of India announces its lineup for OTT platform, Bangladesh to be focus country this year. And India were 262 for 4 against Australia in their second innings in third cricket test at Sydney a short while ago. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has issued a notification to facilitate the issuance of International Driving Permit (IDP) for Indian citizens whose IDP has expired while they are abroad. There was no mechanism for its renewal while citizens were abroad and their IDP expired. After this amendment, Indian citizens can apply for renewal through Indian embassies and missions abroad, from where these applications will move to the Vahan portal in India to be considered by the concerned road transport officers. The international driving permit will be couriered to the citizen at his or her address abroad by the respective RTOs. The ministry said that the notification also removes the conditions of a medical certificate and a valid visa at the time of making the request for the IDP in India. The idea is that a citizen who has a valid driving license should not have a requirement for another medical certificate. Further, there are countries where the visa is issued on arrival or visa is issued at the last moment, and in such cases, visa is not available when applying for the IDP in India before travel. Therefore, IDP application can now be made without visa. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that over 1,200 crore rupees will be spent by Road Transport and Highways Ministry to create infrastructure for safe movement of wildlife on the national highway. In a tweet, Mr. Javadekar said this includes construction of underpasses on the Nagpur-Jabalpur National Highway, which passes through the Pench National Park, and also at highways including Gadchiroli, Chandrapur and Chimur Vadodara.
Home Minister Amit Shah will launch the Single Window Clearance System, an online platform to obtain clearances for smooth operationalization of coal mines this morning. In a tweet, the Ministry of Home Affairs said Single Window Clearance System will be launched through a virtual ceremony in the presence of Coal Minister Prahlad Joshi. The aerial ground survey for Delhi-Varanasi high-speed rail corridor began from Greater Noida yesterday. Railway Ministry said a helicopter fitted with state-of-art aerial lidar and imagery sensors took the first flight and captured the data related to ground survey. The ministry said lidar technology provides all the ground details and data in 3 to 4 months, wherein this process normally takes 10 to 12 months. The ground survey is a crucial activity for any linear infrastructure project, as the survey provides accurate details of areas around the alignment. This technique uses a combination of laser data, GPS data, flight parameters and actual photographs to give accurate survey data.
A delegation comprising senior officials of Jammu and Kashmir government visited Sabarmati Riverfront Development Project in Gujarat yesterday. The delegation comprised Principal Secretary to Lieutenant Governor Nitish Kumar and District Magistrate of Jammu and Chief Executive Officer Jammu Smart City Project Sushma Chauhan, among others. They were briefed about the Sabarmati Riverfront by the Gujarat government officials. The visit assumes significance in view of the future plan regarding Tavi River front in Jammu. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Tavi River in Jammu will have riverfront on the lines of Sabarmati Riverfront Development SRFD project. It will be part of the Smart City Development Plan of Jammu City. An MOU has already been signed by Jammu Development Authority with the Sabarmati Riverfront Development Corporation to provide the people a green, healthy and recreational riverfront environment. According to the sources, the officials of SRFD project have assisted the delegation in making the feasibility report for the riverfront development on Tavi River. The delegation visited highlighted unique developments at SRFD project like pedestrian bridge, international standard sports park, the urban jungle biodiversity park, riverfront flower park, and smart multi-level car park. The chairman of Sabarmati Riverfront Development Corporation, Sri Kesav Verma, and other senior officials explained to the delegation about various aspects of the riverfront development project. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying has issued advisories to the avian influenza affected states so as to avoid further spread of the disease. So far, the disease has been confirmed from 7 states: Kerala, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh. Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying in a statement said that after confirmation of avian influenza positive samples in 2 poultry farms of Panchkula district of Haryana, the state has deployed 9 rapid response teams and control and containment operation is underway. The ministry said control and containment have been completed in both the affected districts of Kerala and post-operational surveillance program guidelines have been issued to the state. The central teams formed for monitoring the situation in the affected areas of the country are visiting the affected sites. In Madhya Pradesh, bird flu infection has been confirmed in 18 districts so far. More details from our Bhopal correspondent.
Bird flu virus has been confirmed in 18 districts of the state: Indore, Mandsaur, Agar, Neemaj, Devas, Ujjain, Khandwa, Khargone, Guna, Shivpuri, Rajgarh, Shajapur, Vidisha, Bhopal, Hoshangabad, Ashoknagar, Datia and Badwani districts reports confirmed cases of bird flu virus. Around 328 samples from different districts have been sent to Research Laboratory Bhopal for investigation. Even though no bird flu virus has been found in samples sent from Alirajpur, Collector Surbhi Gupta informed that the administration had launched a massive awareness campaign in poultry markets as well as among villagers for prevention of the disease in chickens, including high-protein black meat chicken, also known as Kadaknath, through traditional methods like Munadi or public announcements. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Maharashtra, 800 birds at a poultry farm in Murumba village of Parbhani district died of avian influenza. District collector has ordered culling of all hens within 1 kilometer radius of the village. In any kind of sale, purchase and transportation of birds within 10 kilometer radius of the village has also been banned. District authorities are also keeping a close watch on poultry farms in the entire district. More than 70 lakh paddy farmers have benefited from the current Kharif marketing season procurement operations with minimum support price MSP value of over 1 lakh crore rupees. Agriculture Ministry said the government continues to procure Kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. Around 532 lakh tons of paddy have been procured from Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam, Karnataka and West Bengal.
51st International Film Festival of India, IFFI, has announced a lineup of programs that will be showcased on the OTT platform. The festival will be held in Goa from 16 to 24 January. Taking into account the corona pandemic, IFFI is holding its first ever hybrid film festival. This year, IFFI will organize a few of its events on the OTT platform for its audience. It includes retrospective films like Live Flesh, Bad Education and Volver of Spanish filmmaker Pedro Almodovar and The Square and Force Majeure of Swedish film director Ruben Östlund. Besides, the festival will have masterclasses and in-conversation sessions at OTT platform. Bangladesh will be this edition's Country in Focus. The Country in Focus is a special segment that recognizes the cinematic excellence and contributions of the country. This section at the 51st IFFI will showcase 4 films: Jibnu Dulhi by Tanveer Mukammal, Meghmalar by Zahidur Rahman Anjan, Under Construction by Rubaiyat Hussain, and Sincerely Yours Dhaka by 11 individual directors including Nuha Shumayu, Saeed Ahmed Shauki, Rahmat Rahman Joy, M.D. Robil Alam and Ghulam Kibaria Farooqi, Mir Murakkam Hussain, Tanveer Ehsan, Mahmood al-Islam, Abdullah al-Noor, Krishnendu Chattopadhyay and Syed Salah Ahmed Subang. In cricket, India were 266 for 4 in their second innings in the third test at Sydney a short while ago. India is chasing the target of 407 run set by Australia after the hosts declared their second innings on 312 for 6 yesterday. Australia had removed Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill after they had put on 71 runs together on the day 4 yesterday. Rohit Sharma scored 52 while Shubman Gill was out for 31 runs.
In Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistani troops violated ceasefire by resorting to unprovoked mortar shelling and firing on forward posts and villages in different sectors along the line of control and the international border in Rajouri, Poonch and Kathua districts yesterday. However, there was no immediate report of any damage on the Indian side. At about 3 p.m., Pakistani Army initiated unprovoked ceasefire violation by firing with small arms and shelling mortars along the LOC in Nowshera sector of Rajouri district. Pakistani Army also resorted to mortar shelling in Balakot, Digwar and Kidney sectors along the LOC in Poonch district. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital will experience strong surface winds during daytime. The city observed a minimum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 17 degrees. Mumbai will experience partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 21 and 33 degrees Celsius. Chennai may witness generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will vary between 25 and 29 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, sky will be mainly clear. The city observed a minimum temperature of 19 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees. Srinagar experienced fog, mist in the morning and is expected to have mainly clear sky during day. Jammu also experienced fog or mist in the morning and is expected to have mainly clear sky during the day. The minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 17 degrees. Leh will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was minus 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around minus 2 degrees. Gilgit had fog or mist in the morning and will have mainly clear sky during the day. The temperature will hover between minus 4 degrees and 9 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have clear sky. The temperature will move between 3 and 15 degrees Celsius. Dehradun observed a minimum temperature of 7 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 31 degrees.
And now, an overview of today's newspapers. All the dailies have covered the news of the Prime Minister taking stock of the preparedness of the much-awaited vaccine across the country today. Hindustan Times reports vaccines to arrive in capital by Thursday. The Times of India writes government to generate unique health IDs for people giving Aadhaar for vaccination. An Indian Express headline reports government looks at expenditure budget to aid higher growth. Racial slur appalls cricketing world as Jasprit Siraj face abuse by crowd at Sydney cricket ground, writes the Pioneer. Hindustan Times adds, play halted at Sydney, racist fans thrown out. A front page headline in the Economic Times says, companies sent message to staff, avoid business chat on WhatsApp. The Asian Age writes Jammu and Kashmir plans Mega Biz Summit in April-May. And finally, shorter parade route, more tableaux this Republic Day, notes the Hindu. The paper adds, parade will end at National Stadium instead of Red Fort, steps being taken to ensure social distancing.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with state chief ministers this evening on the nationwide rollout of corona vaccine. COVID recovery rate improves to 96.42% in the country. Aerial ground survey of Delhi-Varanasi high-speed rail corridor begins from Greater Noida. Government notifies rules for renewal of international driving license while travelling abroad. International Film Festival of India announces its lineup for OTT platform. Bangladesh to be the focus country this year. And India were 271 for 4 against Australia in their second innings in third cricket test at Sydney a short while ago. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.